Hello tennis guys and welcome to my channel. So I have got hands on a tennis racket that I didn't know, and probably some of you also didn't know that even exists. It's a Blade 101L version 7 Pro stock. So a professional tennis racket with that fine glossy finish, with zero info on the specs on the frame, and with this typical pro stock feel when you hit the ball. You know that this racket is different from the standard ones that you can buy. But before I get into the details, how I feel about the racket, what is so amazing about it, I want to talk about how I got my hands on this racket. So the court taker, or the person who takes care of the courts where I play tennis in České Budějovice, a very small tennis club. You can see most of the videos I shoot there. There are two clay courts outside with a one, let's say, smaller or not so fine clay court, and then there is the third, or let's say fourth clay court that is covered under the bubble hole all year. And this person who is running this small club, who takes care of the court and who also gives lessons to some of the, let's say, amateurs, hobby players, but also some juniors, he called me and he said, "Hey, I have the opportunity to buy from some woman second-hand 6 Wilson Blades 101L version 7s, but they are the professional versions. They were used by some pro." And I was like, wait. A Blade 101L, a racket that weighs around 284 or 285 gram, in a pro stock version? It doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't know that there are these versions, these pro stock versions. And I was like, okay, whatever, just buy the racket. By the way, what is the price for the racket? And he told me, well, if I buy all 6 rackets, it will be around 1,500 Czech crowns, which is, I believe, around 60 American dollars for one racket. So I was like, okay, that's a good price. I know the Blades version 7. I reviewed them back in the days and they were really solid. Okay, just go for them and buy them. So he bought the rackets. Then a few days later, when I was coaching, he came to me and he gave me the racket, and I immediately was blown away. I was like, okay, so this is a pro stock racket, and it felt great in my hand. I was looking constantly at the frame and I was like, okay, it's glossy. The standard version is not glossy. It's, I remember it was once again with this rubber-like film on the frame. So it felt, smooth and soft. And yeah, I hope you also remember the Blades version 7. And this one was pure gloss throughout all the frame. And what I also noticed is that there were no numbers on the frame, no specs. And he also told me the lady who sent me those rackets, she removed the sticker that was on the frame, where there was the name of the player who used the racket, strings and tension. And by the way, all 6 rackets came strung with the ALU Power. So it probably was really used by some professional, probably by some Czech women or Czech junior. Who knows? But the woman who sent those rackets, she didn't want to know. She didn't want to let us know who played with those rackets. So I don't really remember which tennis professional, women or junior in the Czech Republic, could possibly use those rackets in the past few years, but we have plenty of great players out there. So I think there are so many options that I just can't name a few few big names who could possibly use those rackets. So I was so curious about those frames that after I play tested them, I borrowed one of the frame for a longer period of time, for like 1 week, and I also measured the specs of the frame. Of course, I was really curious. By the way, the grip size was very small, grip size 1, so probably it was used by some junior, or maybe young lady, or some women with smaller hand, let's say. So I took the racket, one of those 6 rackets, I took the racket at home and I measured the specs, and it was strung with the ALU Power, and I measured these numbers. Very interesting. So the strung swing weight was just 298, so very, very low. So probably unstrung around 260, 268 or so. The balance was 331 millimeters, so unstrung around 320, and the weight, the strung weight, was 298, plus there was an overgrip. The overgrip, the typical Wilson perforated grip, the famous one. So you can expect that without that grip, the strung weight was around 294, let's say. So if you take away the strings, if you remove the strings, so possibly the unstrung weight for this racket was something between 275 and 280. So a very, really light frame that has very similar specs to the standard non-pro stock version of the racket. And then there is the question how the racket plays, and it was just fantastic. I don't know whether the string, the ALU Power, is so amazing that it can turn all rackets into professional feeling rackets, but I was amazed by the amount of control, spin, easiness, and at the same time very good precision, superb sliced shots, great stability, and that pro stock feel upon contact. And I was playing against Zdenek, my beloved sparring partner, who is using the Wilson Pro Staff RF97 version 11 or version 13, depends on which one he has in his bag. So very, let's say, different type of rackets, but I was able, even with this light frame, even with the grip size 1, with 1 overgrip, so very small, tiny grip, I was really able to push Zdenek into his limits, which is very, let's say, unusual. And the oversized head, the 101 square inches, really helped me to absorb his fast-paced shots and to shoot them back. Very long shots, deep ones, with a nice trajectory. Not, I would say, not as heavy as with heavier rackets. Usually when I play with the heavier rackets, I can feel that the balls are heavier, but these were nicely floating through the air. Long, deep, precise, under control. Very I was very confident when I was hitting with the racket, and I was like, I can reach and I can swing the racket at any position, even on the fastest runs, when sprinting, when under the pressure. So very, very solid performance from this racket, and I didn't expect that. And once again, thanks to this unusual opportunity that I would say, is not very common, because how often do you come to test such a lightweight racket in a pro stock, in a pro stock finish, let's say. So very impressed with the easiness, yet with the very similar feel to the regular, let's say, pro stock blades, and these the 98s, these heavier and more advanced and professional type of rackets for the adults, let's say. So if you have a chance to get hand on such a light frame with this pro stock specification, just go for it, because people around this person who bought these rackets are women, are juniors, and he bought 6 of these, all of these rackets that were offered by the women, and 2 rackets he gave to this lady, 2 rackets he gave to one junior 13-14-year-old, 2 rackets he gave to some other lady, and all the three players who were given these rackets were very, very pleased and very, very surprised how the rackets kind of uplifted their game, their confidence. And I would say the most amazing, let's say, transition was with the 13-14-year-old junior who was playing with Babolat Pure Aero. I think it was the team version, so also a 280-gram racket with a 100 square inch head size, and he immediately transferred to the blade 101L. He liked it so much, he said, wow, this is amazing, this gives me like more, this is like a step above, a next level racket that gave him confidence, that gave him opportunity to somehow swing faster, harder, yet maintain the control, increased precision, increased feel. It was just like, you don't see that very often, that someone grabs a racket and he's blown away by it. He's like, okay, I was using a racket that was good, he loved it, but this is another level. So this is the beauty of these pro stock rackets, with this glossy finish, with this I would say different construction. The graphite is constructed in a different way. Maybe the frame feels a little bit stiffer or more solid, more filled. Maybe the racket is once again filled with a foam. Who knows? I didn't look at the butt cap, but just fantastic. And I'm now so hyped for the lighter frames overall, because the more I play with the lighter frames like the Extreme MPL or the new RF01, the future model, and overall with the rackets with more hand heavy balance, I'm thinking that weight and plow through and swing weights are overrated, because today's modern game is so fast, is so unpredictable, is so creative. Drop shots, charges, serve volleys, angles, different types of strokes, slice shots, forehand slice, return slice. It's so variable nowadays tennis that the plow through, the higher swing weight and the mass of heavier racket is actually limiting you from these creative, new creative patterns and new creativity that comes with today's fast-paced modern tennis. So don't stuck on the thinking that heavier is better, stiffer is better, because if you set yourself on a path that closes doors to the other options we have, then you might end up last in the race, let's say. Because keep up the open mind, try something you can trust and you can control in your hand. You can have a nice feel, a nice experience all day long, rather than something that is like, you know, like Formula One, you know, Formula One tennis racket, but you can use it like for 1 hour and then you are done. So I'm thinking that today's modern rackets should be lighter, easier to control, balance more to the hand, but yet they should feel very solid. So let's say pro stock level rackets with easier overall control and creativity that is brought by the more hand heavy balance and these features that can provide you more fun throughout the whole game, not just few games, but throughout the whole game, whole match, whole training that can last for, you know, couple of hours. So guys, this was my experience, very unusual one, very fresh one, very positive one, with the lightest pro stock racket I've ever seen. I didn't know that it exists. I don't know if you were aware of the fact that there are also lighter pro stock rackets for, let's say, juniors. Amazing. And yeah, Blade 101L version 7 pro stock is just fantastic. So if you have the possibility to try one or just to buy one for fun, buy it, string it with the Luxilon ALU Power 1.25. You can lower the tension a little bit, 21, 22 kilos, no problem at all. The tension can even drop under 20 kilos and it is still perfectly playable, as I observed. And yeah, lighter frames rock. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support my channel, there are these 4 options. You can become my member on a monthly basis, just $2 a month. You will receive this special badge, and I can see the badge in the comment section. I can focus on it and, you know, give you my fastest response. And of course, there are the other 3 options. There is the super thanks button. Just click it, write me a comment, question, I will answer that. And then there is the buy me a coffee platform and PayPal option. And all of these supporters actions give you the opportunity to ask me a question, and it is guaranteed I will answer the question as best as I can and as fast as I can. And for now, that's all. I thank you so much for watching, and as always, enjoy tennis, play tennis, watch tennis every time, every day, and don't forget to enjoy the manooovrlbity. Bye guys.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!